Okay. All right, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Breaking the Cycle, Redefining Weight Loss, Health, and Mom Life. Today, we're going to talk about food environment, why food is quote unquote so addictive, why it's hard to adhere to, whether it's your weight loss cycle or your maintenance cycles, whatever. So there's that.
Yes. Well, both of us. So both of us came into this
Fucking
not
brain fog right now is I'm on the struggle bus like times 1,000. Sorry.
not in the right
I can't be
headspace.
perfect.
Okay,
I'm about
what?
80% on target right now.
Okay,
That
well,
20% where I'm like, I'm here, I'm showing up. I'm showing up with consistency. I'm showing up with my best foot
exactly.
forward I have today. And today it's about
She's
now that was
too
a great
busy.
introduction.
She's too busy thinking about that fat ass burger she's gonna eat later. So
Oh, yeah, that's actually a great segue.
right?
Yeah, so it's date night tonight, and I have been fantasizing about Five Guys, my fucking triple stack burger and fries with some Cajun
Triple
seasoning on the
stack.
side. Yeah, girl, I
Oh.
go all in. I gotta make sure, like, if I'm gonna eat like that, like, at least let's get the protein in, okay?
she likes the meat stacks.
I like the meat. Give me all the meat.
meat. Okay, seriously.
The perimenopause brain fog struggle is real, but hey, welcome to the shit show today, guys. That's just what it's gonna be. But for real, so I've been excited about it. I've been fantasizing about it, and I actually put a post out about it. The reason why I'm so excited about it is because this is not my typical normal meal. I eat most of my meals at home, prepared by me, mostly whole foods, nutrient dense foods that keep me satiated and full and fueled well. So this is a treat. Meals out really should be a treat. They should be enjoyed. But I think because of the food environment and the way that it's the accessibility to it has got you guys bogged down. It's actually kind of designed to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have that burger, and it's going to be an endorphin hit to the brain. So it is. It absolutely is the freaking just the extra salts and the savoriness and the saltiness and the crispiness.
The
Like if
fat.
you think about it, like a lot of the stuff is just it's designed to be a certain way. Like even like restaurant meals, it's composed to have to hit all of those senses, like the crunchy sense, the savory sense, the umami sense. So like talk about that, like because I think
Yeah.
one reason why we decided to talk about this is because one of your clients had brought it up to you and had said like the struggle for her to not give in to, I guess I hate this word, but for lack of a better term right now, the temptation or of food and why it's so quote unquote again air quotes addictive.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, why the food environment has to be or is oh, sorry, my headphones. Why it is so difficult to navigate these days because all of this kind of highly palatable, yes, processed. So we're just going to say processed just for ease because foods can be processed, varying levels. An apple cut is processed. Protein powder is processed. So we're just going to say processed foods that you find in your grocers like aisles or when you're just out and about. And I know I've heard like your coach Aram and also Jimmy talk about it on their podcast too, but how it doesn't matter where you go to a stationery store, chocolates,
Oh,
pop, chips.
mhm.
Why, right? Like
On the
why
end
is it
caps
that,
too.
right? Or we have like Winners and Home Sense, and I think you guys have, or Marshalls, those types of stores.
Oh,
And
mhm.
right, like I don't know, what do you guys call them there?
Well, there's like Home Goods, there's Marshalls, there's
Yes.
a whole
Okay.
bunch of those. Like, yeah,
Yeah, so you go through, to go through checkout, and it's just like
it's
food and
candy.
candy, and it's designed like children's cereal is designed to be located at their eye level. It's the same thing for adults. They're putting it right there, like right in front of your face.
Mhm.
So that part of it makes it difficult. It's just so accessible, like you said, right? The other part of it is designed to be consumed in large amounts, because you're not going to get full with the whole bag of potato chips. I mean, you know, and you see the comparison online, and you see like six potatoes. You're not going to eat six whole potatoes, but turn those into some delicious,
Potato
crunchy
chips.
potato chips, and damn rights, like I'm going through that bag.
You're hitting the
Right?
bottom of the bag and licking your fingers with the chip dust.
Yeah, and like even what do you do that? Like, you know,
No, I
with the
don't do
bag,
that.
trying to get all the crumbs.
No, I just stick my tiny little nubby fingers and then
Yeah,
get
and
them all in between and then just stuff
keep
it in.
pinching them.
Yeah. Like, don't let
Oh,
any go to waste. But it's
yeah.
actually funny because I was at the grocery store and I took a picture, and most of the end caps were, of course, easily accessible, highly processed foods, like your chips, your donuts, pies, like
Donuts.
little things, right? But there actually was, and I was kind of proud of it, and I was going to post it, that there is one particular end cap, but again, sad because it's only one end cap. But it
Oh,
had Premier Proteins on one side, and then
okay.
it had a various selection of protein bars. Now, of course, is protein bars not the best option? Depends, because it always depends, right? But if you're in a
Right.
pinch and you want a snack, would the better choice be a Premier Protein and a protein bar versus the donut and pie? Absolutely, yes. So I was
Yeah.
kind of proud, like as a coach, to see that, like, okay, well, at least they're trying.
Yeah.
but then,
I don't
but then
know.
again, let me see. I think there was at least 20 aisles of checkouts. Not all of them are open. So let's just say there was about 20 end caps. So out of the 20 end caps, only one and a half of them was dedicated to something a little bit more nutrition forward. Um,
Right.
but I guess, it's a start. But
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
that's part of the design. And I actually asked ChatGPT, um,
Oh,
good old
interesting.
ChatGPT. She's come in handy like lately. I asked her what her, I guess, her outlook on why food is so addictive. Now, granted, ChatGPT is going to be semi-biased based off of your beliefs. So let me just preface it with that to people, because the more
Hmm.
you talk to her, the more she learns you, right? So I asked her. Let me see. I'm going to read it to you guys, and it was actually really good. Hold on. Okay, I said, "Hey, ChatGPT, why is food so addicting nowadays?" She said, "Great, that's a great question." She said, "Food today is way more engineered to be addicting than it used to be, and here's why. One, they're hyper palatable foods. Modern processed foods are designed with a bliss point in mind, the perfect balance of sugar, fat, and salt that makes your brain light up. This combo activates dopamine in a way that's very similar to addictive substances. Insert your Reese's Pieces, insert my chocolate love bars. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's an instant happy, like, just take me to my happy place moment. But
Yeah.
it's there and then it's gone. That's the other part is, so you have your Reese's cup, or I have my chocolate love bar, and I'm like, yeah, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a
It's
sudden
like
I'm like,
cotton.
oh, it's gone.
It's like cotton candy. Like literally the texture
Yeah,
of
we've
cotton
talked
candy.
about
That's what
that.
I. Yeah. Done.
I'm like, why did we even invent that? Like, so let's just eat sugar air. Like, let's talk about that. But case in point, you eat the donut, you eat the crumble cookie. So even if you wanted to on the crumble cookie, break it up into fourths or eighths, you have that little
Yeah.
piece and it hits that spot in your brain telling you this is fucking banging, and you can't stop yourself. You're like, let me have another fourth. And then
Yeah.
now you're like, let me have another, because that moment of bliss is gone and you want it again. It's like you're chasing that next high. It really is, honestly. I
Yeah.
hate to
Yeah.
say
Well,
it, but
okay.
it is.
Okay. For example, okay, Reese's Pieces I could care less for, but the Reese's Halloween ghosts and stuff, or the Christmas trees, like that just hits on a different level for me.
Is it because
So
they're shaped? Is that why? Because they're more
because
festive?
the chocolate shell is very thin, so it like literally melts in your mouth. It's like, whereas Reese's
Okay.
Pieces, they're much thicker, right? There you go. That's what it
Yes.
is.
Okay. There's a
See,
science
they're
to it.
playing on. Yeah, there
Yeah. No,
is.
okay.
It
I got it.
dissolves,
You're
right?
right. That's why I don't like the Reese's miniatures, because it's too much
There you go.
chocolate. The chocolate to
Yes.
peanut butter ratio sucks. Fight me on that.
Yeah, and so okay, for example, now I can't get that at the local grocery store yet. I'm sure it'll be out in a week or two. But then our local pharmacy or whatever had to go in to get some like first aid stuff, and that's where I was getting it from. And this time I went in and I could have easily went that direction and got that bag because that's the only place it's available. But I went in, got what I needed, and I went straight to checkout. And I told myself, no, 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 you're not getting that. But I have to be very intentional about it.
You had to
Like,
be vigilant about it and mindful about it. And
yeah,
unfortunately, that's what you're going to have to do at a certain point. Like, you have to take accountability, knowing that, like, that shit is going to have some power over you.
yeah,
And maybe let's just not have it accessible to me at this moment.
yeah. And maybe some days I can have one, most days, but then there's those days where no, it's like three, four, and I don't want to be in that position. And so I had to, like I said, like you said, like I really did have to make that intentional choice and think about it and say, no, I'm not getting those, not bringing those into my house. They do have a hold over me.
But you know
And
that though, and that's
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. It is.
You
It
make it
is
like you
exactly.
you make it like a time for it. And you're like, like right now is not a good time because I think too people have to be checked in with themselves, right? So like right now, I'm super emotional, I'm tired, and I
Hmm.
already know like I have less fucks to give.
Hmm. Hmm.
So with that being said, if I make things that have a hold over me, like chocolate, like the cookies, like the candy, more accessible in my home, will I have a, a bigger, will there be a greater chance for me to have the buckets and just go hard on them? Yes. So I
Yeah.
think that that's also another thing around that is just knowing where you're at, doing a temperature check with yourself.
Yeah, you're right. Because for me too, when I actually sit back and reflect on when I'm having more than one or two, it's because I'm emotionally dysregulated. Like there's shit going on I need to deal with.
Hmm.
That's what I need to deal with, not the act, not going towards the food to, bring me that kind of, I don't know, just feeling safe, comfort, whatever, like that. That quick dopamine hit where you do feel good in that
Yeah, you're
moment.
like, I can't do a bump of Coke, but let me go do a let me go do a hit of a Reese's pumpkin.
And especially
You're like, my kids are home. I really can't do the Coke right now. I mean, that's so extreme, but if you think
oh
about it,
no,
that's probably why. I mean, we don't do Coke. I'm just saying,
no.
like, but if you think about it, though, like, I think that that's probably why, and this is just my opinion. I don't know if the science behind it. Like, I think that that's why a lot of us become, I guess, almost. I don't want to say emotional eaters because I don't like to put labels on things, but I think that that's why a lot of us run to the food that gives us that dopamine hit. Because I mean, we really can't go do drugs in the corner, but we sure can go eat our emotions for a minute, right?
Yeah, and it's available. It's there. It's so readily accessible, right? Like that's just it. You don't have to search for it. It's in
I know. The dog just busted in on the room and he's pushing the chair. I'm sorry.
real life, folks. Give Carmi a minute here. But yeah, like it's so readily accessible in your face. Oh my gosh, he is so cute. I know you guys can't see this, but like, and I'm not a pet person, by the way, so don't unfollow me just because of that. But I do think they're cute and I like them. Yeah, just the availability of it, right? Like that's just it. Like you can just turn around and it's right there. Doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, what social function you're at. Even if you're at the doctor's office, gosh, like even when you go to the dentist, they have
Yeah.
lollipops.
Yeah, no, for sure. I
Fucking
mean,
crazy.
yeah, you're like, I'm at the dentist, but they give you lollipops. That's weird, right? Like, you tell me I have, like, not to have cavities, but you give me one of the things that can give me cavities.
Yeah, they have a fridge of juice and like for kids and some pop in there. Oh, whatever. I
Hmm.
just yeah, you see it everywhere, and so it's to understand that it's not always your fault either. It's not your fault. Like none of this. Yes, there's a component of personal responsibility. All of that. There's so much more context to this than just what we're talking about. But the fact that it's everywhere, it is so hard
Yeah, and the lack of
to.
education too.
Yes, yes, combined, yeah, coupled with that. Again, so much context, right? Like lack of education, lack of knowledge around like just nutrition in general, calories, volume of food versus calorically dense food, right? Like if you're,
Mm-hmm.
again, going back to the potatoes and chips, right? This is why it's so easy to gain fat and gain weight, just because if those are the things that we're consuming on a regular basis, then it adds up. And why we often encourage, often, all of the time, to eat the 80, kind of like you and I both, the 80-20 guideline, right?
Mm-hmm.
80%,
Yeah.
80 to 90% of the time is whole nutrient dense foods. And not to mention, the more you eat this processed food, the more you want it, right? The highly palatable
Yeah.
foods,
Yeah.
right? You just
And not
have that
even let's
urge.
yeah, let's even step away from that. So I was at the grocery store. Let's do story time, right? And
Yeah.
the gentleman behind me had a whole thing of I want to say it was like almost half of a carton of top ramen, like the stove top ramen. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's the ones that it's just the ramen packets. You just boil the noodles and you
Okay.
put the little seasoning in it, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Mr.
So
Noodles.
okay, oh, that's what you guys have it there. Okay, so
No,
okay,
no,
I
we
get
have
it. You
all sorts now, but like Mr. Noodles
okay?
is what we grew up with, right?
Okay, yeah. So we grew up eating that too, right? And then you
Mm-hmm.
have people that bring it's called the cup of noodles. So same thing, but it's in a
Mm-hmm.
styrofoam cup where you warm it up. So people are taking that for their lunches because it's cheap, it's easily accessible. You
Mm-hmm.
can just throw it in your bag, right? But here's the problem with that: it's mostly carbs, zero
Yep.
protein. So you eat that for your lunch, and then now you're wondering why you're hungry in about an hour. Well, because you didn't have enough of all the rest of the macros to keep you full and sustain you. And so that's the other problem as to why people have a hard time because they eat
Mm-hmm.
the cup of noodles and then now they're searching for chips and cookies on their next break instead of something
Mm-hmm.
that's a little bit of a better option.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if you saw my post a few days ago too. I had a client, she's like, oh, I can't, I was craving ramen noodles and I had them and I was hungry after, and there's so many calories. I'm like, listen, you can eat them, have them, but like you said, let's pair them up. Like add some protein to them, add some veggies
Hmm.
to it, or have half, right? Have half the
Hmm.
portion, and just again, like just adding different things. It's not about taking away these things from your diet or from
Yeah.
your just daily eating habits. It's just like, how can I make this more nutrient dense, and more volume as far
Hmm.
as food is concerned. It's not only going to keep me full longer, you're also now eating where you're eating something that makes you feel good as well. Like you enjoy
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
So those things as well. But yeah, like we've talked about this so many times though, about eating foods you enjoy, but the processed foods, every who doesn't enjoy them?
Everybody does. We're not trying to deter
Everybody
people
enjoys
from
them.
not eating it. It's just a matter of learning how to manage your life around them, understanding that they're a treat and they shouldn't just be your whole entire like food lineup, basically.
Right, right. And to move away from that, it takes time, and you really do have to take the time to adjust your eating habits and start eating more nutrient dense foods. And then your palate gets used to that. Right? Like if
Yeah.
you're not used to eating nutrient whole dense foods, that just takes time. And
Hmm.
so if you find like, we hear this all the time, women saying like, I just can't, like, I can't, I don't know, I'm doing all the things, I'm doing everything I can and I'm still not losing weight, I'm still not losing fat or whatever, or I can't seem to maintain my weight. And this plays a huge role. So,
Yeah, as I would ask, how many times are you hitting the Starbucks drive-through? How many times are you hitting a drive-through? Because even though, like, let's say Chipotle or McDonald's or Starbucks all have their nutritional guidelines or their nutritional values set up, right? It's still a guesstimate. Like, I hope people understand that it's still a guesstimate because just because your Frappuccino says it's 450 calories, who knows how much caramel or extra caramel sauce that person is putting in there? Because
right.
uh, a extra 5 seconds of caramel in that could be another extra 100 calories. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be real about that. It's the truth, though. You know what I mean? And you don't
Yeah.
know how much more oil the cook on that day is using on your orange chicken or whatever it is that you bought. So it's all a guesstimate, and you might be actually over consuming what you think you're over consuming.
Yeah, and Carmi and I were talking about this before, but there's like a inherent like 20% kind of error rate in even nutritional
Oh yeah.
labels, right? This way or that
Hmm.
way. So something says it's 100 calories, it could be 80 or 120. You just never know, and that's the thing with processed foods. You don't know. And also the thermic effect of food, again, we won't get into the nitty gritty, but
The
just,
science.
yeah, the science of it, but your body digesting, absorbing that, like it's going to be way less, right, with highly processed foods. And so when you're eating more nutrient dense foods like protein, well, that has a higher thermic effect of food. So you're gonna expend more
Yeah.
energy, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
um and so if your diet primarily consists of that, this is just one part of it. This is just like one part of it, is, when we're looking at just data and tracking, but that all adds up. So not only are you not full and satiated, your brain's also telling you, okay, go get more, you need to eat more,
Hmm.
and then now the calories are adding up, and they may be way more than you had expected, or
Yeah.
even if you're tracking way more. So there's that. So that,
Look, we've always talked about it, like the bites, licks, and tastes. Well, I mean, I've been a victim to that all the time. Like I tell
yeah,
you, like I'm over there getting everything ready for the next day and getting ready dinner ready, like just all like weighed out and stuff like that. And next thing I know, I've got 6 red vines in my hand, and that's an extra 200 calories. And
right,
without even
right.
thinking about it. So, I mean, all of that takes into account. And then also, too, those damn red vines, man, I'm telling you, you think you're hungry, but it's mostly like I'm hungry, but I'm also like looking for that hit, that endorphin hit, and I keep going back after for more and more and more after each red vine because
Yes.
it's fleeting.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You just want more.
But that's how the food is designed, though. In all
Yeah.
honesty, so they make it so everybody says I eat processed food because it's cheaper. Yes, it is cheaper, and we're not saying that you can't do it, but learn how to balance it all out. Because we, I got the, I don't know if you have it at your guys' Costco in Canada. They have the teriyaki stir fry udon noodles.
Yeah, we do.
Um,
I haven't tried them
yeah,
yet.
they're so good. I like them.
Okay.
So here's the thing, though. They're just noodles, right? They're delicious. So we had that for dinner last night because it was quick and easy. Because I'm all about quick and easy too. I get it,
Yeah.
guys. I'm busy too. You're busy. So I got those. They're on sale for like I think $6 for one pack, and it's like four things of noodles. It'll last us a couple days. And what did I do? I had teriyaki chicken thighs on hand, so I put 6 ounces of chicken thigh on top of it. So I just made the stir fry
Yeah.
noodles. I added more broccoli into it when I stir fried it, and then I just put the chicken on top, and that was mine and my husband's dinner. And now we have a balance of fats, carbs, and protein on there. And then I
Exactly.
fed us for about $10.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the same thing. Like, yes, some foods are cheaper for sure. that that is true. However, when you actually, even with the prices, grocery prices going up and whatnot, even when you break it down, I mean, to feed a family, to still cook from scratch and make more of that item is still going to be cheaper. It just takes more
Mhm.
time. There are other things though when you cook from scratch. Now, this is kind of going off topic, but for example, like uh, appetizers, or say you're going to. I love making things from scratch: spinach dip, bean dip, all of that.
Mhm.
When it comes to those kind of things, though, if I buy the ingredients and make it from scratch, it actually costs more than to just buy the pre-made version.
Yeah, it does.
Right? Like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So we're not going to say that it's always cheaper, but for the most part, when we're looking at meals and like, like chicken breast or whatever protein you're getting, and then you're pairing it with the carb source and veggies, like rice is freaking cheap. Like a bag of rice, a huge, I don't know, 5 kg bag is what, like 18, 19, $20. How long is that
Rice,
going to last
beans,
you?
potatoes, that's all cheap.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Relatively, right? Speaking, that is.
Mhm.
That'll last you forever. And you are paying cents versus I don't know, $2-3, right,
Yeah.
per meal. And going back to what you're saying with bites, BLTs and stuff too. I was just reading Sam Forget's post today, and he was just talking about you don't have to track and you don't have to
Oh yeah, I saw
portion.
that.
Right? You saw that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've been there. Like I have been in fat loss phases where, I'll track all day. I'm just below my calorie range, and then it's movie night, and I'll have some popcorn, but I didn't measure it out, for example. Or there's a few more BLTs going on during the day here and there, or I'm just not measuring a sauce or this or that. Yes, in the grand scheme of things, it seems like it's a small amount, but that adds up. And when you have to be in a certain range, well, for me, I wanted to, lose a certain amount. Obviously, I don't have control over that, but a certain amount in a certain amount of time. But if I'm not tracking, measuring, and eating just more nutrient dense foods versus the pantry items or processed foods, highly palatable foods,
Mhm.
then my expectations are going to have to be lower. They
Yeah.
are. They just have to be, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so and then also when you're eating these types of foods, and so going back to another example of pairing, when I eat chips, sometimes I'll just have regular chips, but most of the time, if protein chips, Quest protein chips, are on sale, I will buy that, and then I'll pair it up with like a high protein dip, so blended cottage cheese with some ranch seasoning, for example. I'll
Hmm.
have that, right? Like
Yeah.
now you're eating that, but you're pairing it up with something that is more nutrient dense and is going to keep you full for longer.
Yeah. But there's also other options too. So if people don't want the Quest chips, because
Yep.
I've tried it. I don't, it's not really my cup of tea.
Yep.
But there are
Yep.
still better options than, let's say, the Lay's potato chips or the Kettle potato chips.
Yeah.
You can go
Yep.
get popcorners,
Popcorners.
which,
Yep.
yeah, you can get popcorners, or even, let's say, like Pringles. Pringles are still better because they're not fried, they're baked. So
Yeah.
it's just about knowing, like, how can you manipulate things where you can still have the things but still make it better for you. And I say for you because, again, it just depends. It depends on where you're at.
Yeah. And it's adding again back to what can you add with that to that
Hmm. Yeah.
to make it more nutrient dense for you. And it just takes a little bit of practice, not a little bit, a lot.
A lot.
We're
And
a
managing your
lot.
expectations, because, like, circling back to you saying, about people having their, like, I guess, their taste buds adjust, you brought up a really good point that I wanted to
Hmm.
talk about is when people eat mostly hyper palatable foods and meals out as their, like, consistent food source, your taste buds are shot, because that's all
Yeah.
you're telling your body is what's good. So when you actually eat chicken thigh or chicken breast, it's not bland. None of my food is bland, guys. Okay. It's very basic, but it's seasoned, and it's seasoned well. We eat well. Don't trip. Chocolate chips.
Hmm.
Um,
Don't trip. Ah.
but because you guys are so used to the In and Out and the McDonald's and the Five Guys and whatever else that you're always constantly eating, you've told your body that that's what, quote unquote, good food is supposed to taste like. So then when you start to try to bring it back to the basics, you're like, what is this? Your body's like,
Yeah.
huh? But it's like, that's how you should be eating. That's how you should be eating 80% of the time. And then the stuff that's like just a straight shot to your head, that's the fun stuff that your body's like, okay, cool, treat time. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And remember, it's their job. You go to a restaurant, any of these fast food places, it's their job to make you want to come back and like just be like, oh my God, this is so mouthwatering, like delicious. This is the
Yeah.
best thing I've had. Mind you, my experience, when I used to have it all of the time, like 5 days a week, whether it was ordering in, going out, and we'll get into this because you mentioned this. I didn't care for it. It didn't taste good anymore. I felt like shit after. I still kept going for more, again, because it was more of it's an emotional thing, and I wasn't addressing the root causes of why I kept, seeking that comfort in
Hmm.
that food. But it really doesn't. It loses its appeal, and you don't
Hmm.
look forward to it, and it's just you're just going through the motions. And yeah, so I know you mentioned that, so do you want to talk about that as far as like, not treats, but like I wouldn't even say like, yeah, okay, you can look at it as a treat meal, not even like a cheat meal, none of that, but it's just that you get to when
It's
you
something outside
make
of your norm.
yeah, when you make eating nutrient dense foods like a part of your daily kind of routine, everyday thing, 80% of the time, it actually allows you the ability and flexibility to actually enjoy that food and immerse yourself in those moments, the moments that matter, without worrying about, oh, how is this going to affect me tomorrow? Like, how is it going to, oh, it's going to make me gain weight, or, I've been over consuming all week and now this, and, or maybe you're going to the restaurant now and you're ordering a salad instead of actual food,
Something that you really
right?
wanted. Yeah, no, for
Yeah,
sure.
like,
So
right?
basically, like what I was, talking about, especially in my reel, was that, a lot of people don't get excited about meals out because, again, they're just
Yeah.
used to it. It's their norm, right? Where my norm is eating from home. And now I'm excited. And you could really just apply it to just like how everyday life is. Okay. You show up every day, you go to your job. That's your norm, right? That's
Hmm.
what you have to do. Then you get to go on vacation. So now I'm on vacation and I'm having fun. I'm in the moment because it's outside of what my norm is. It's just to
Right.
very simply put it, that's what it is. So you guys have to think about it in that sense because I mean, sometimes all like even when we're on vacation, we've talked about this before, and we don't have accessibility to make our own food. Eating those meals out after 2 or 3 days, like I feel blah. I feel gross.
Hmm.
Like digestion is off. My trips to the bathroom are off, and we all know that I don't like to do that. And you just feel lethargic, you feel sluggish, and that's how that food is also geared to make you feel. It's not going to
Yeah.
make you feel like all cylinders are firing because you're not fueling yourself well. You're eating a majority of carbs and fats, maybe some protein, but still, for me personally, not what I'm used to eating. And so it does make a difference on your performance, how you think, the your reactiveness, your regulating of how you
Yeah.
your temper or whatever, all of it, all your stress management, it does inherently affect it.
Yeah. And it's the micronutrients you're missing out on, right?
Yeah.
When you're, if that's what you're eating most of the time, the
Yeah.
vitamins, the minerals, maybe you'll see it in your nails or your hair or whatever. Like it will show. Your
Your
body will show
face, you
you
start breaking
your
out.
face.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Alcohol will do that to me when I'm drinking alcohol, not just one day, but let's say like 2 3 days or even on a vacation, like I will see it in my face. I will literally break out, my rosacea gets exasperated, and I will start to have breakouts. I'm noticing that now, like it really does affect me. So that's huge, but your body will show you, like if you're not getting those
Yeah.
micronutrients and vitamins and
Yeah.
minerals. So that's a part of it. And something I said before, I'm like, when you go to a restaurant, like eat real food, not salads. Okay, that's a bias. Salads are real food, but I mean,
But
when
I know what
I
you
go
mean.
to, right?
What you mean is as like you're going to, like, let's say, what's something popular that people like to eat in Canada where you're at?
Oh, a poutine?
Like
No,
a
I'm kidding.
nicer
I'm
restaurant.
totally
Would you
stereotyping.
say a poutine? You said
A
poutine?
poutine,
A poutine. I've yet to have a
girl,
poutine.
girl. We eat the same things you do. Our portions are just half the size.
Okay, so let's say, so there's like a steakhouse that's kind of like
Yeah,
I guess a lower end, not like a high upscale like a Fleming's, right? Oh, well, let's just say Fleming's. Okay, so Fleming's is
yeah,
one of the higher end steakhouses here. So you go to Fleming's, but you're afraid to eat because you've been eating like an asshole all week. But you should go to Fleming's and you should enjoy because that's a
yeah,
treat, right? But instead of having the nice little steak that you wanted with the nice little sides like the truffle mac and cheese and the whatever else that they have there. I can't remember. It's been a minute.
Okay,
You
now I
go
want to
for the
have that.
salad. You have the
Yeah.
just the plain salad. How boring is that? You didn't fucking drive all the way to Fleming's and get all dolled up just to eat the fucking salad. Like I want to
Right.
go to Fleming's and I'm gonna go have the prime rib steak or whatever, like the T-bone steak, whatever the most
The big
expensive
slab
fatty.
of meat.
Yeah, the one with the bone and all the flavor in it. Like I want that one. I want
The
that one
meat
with all the
stick.
sides. I want the meat stick. I want the meat stick with the bone.
Yeah.
God. But that's the
Yes.
same thing. Like you should be eating well a majority of the week. So that way when you do get the opportunity to have something like that. Like, you're not in your head. You're in your head
Yeah.
all the time. Like
Yeah.
today, we're going to go have Five Guys. I'm not tracking because I don't give a fuck. Like, I made us a breakfast. I slammed it before I hopped on here. I didn't track it. I didn't worry about it. But what did I do? Because I'm educated and I know, I had a little breakfast sandwich. I made it with egg whites to keep the fat low, protein high. And I used the
Right.
sliced turkey breast from Costco. I put about 6 slices in that. And I used the very thin cheese. So the thin cheese is about, I think, 5 grams of fat versus like the thick one where it's like 10. So like, I'm still adding, but I'm modifying it to keep things low. Because again, it's all about knowing where your food sources are coming from. Because I do know today's going to be super high fat and it's going to be super high
Hmm.
carbs. And I'm okay with that. Because I'm going to have, like I
Yeah.
said, the 3 stack, and we're going to make sure that there's some protein in there, a lot of protein.
Triple decker.
But because, yes, but we have been adherent
Hmm.
all week and we will continue to be adherent tomorrow, because the fun fest and the shit fest is not going to continue all weekend. That's the
No.
other issue.
Yeah, so story time, because this like makes me think about things that I observe, have observed, continue to observe around me with women in general. Um, my sister's been like, she's been really like for many many years, like most of her life there was a period where she had gained weight, but for most of her life she's really health conscious, and she'll go to restaurants, and she lives like this as well, and she always had, and she can go to restaurants once a week and she can eat whatever and it's fine because she's not doing that all week all of
Mm-hmm.
the time. And then, you'll go out with girlfriends, for example. And this can be anything. This could be you as, the person that's listening to this and observing when you're at a restaurant, you see someone eating like that, I'm just going to put this in air quotes, skinnier girl, woman,
Oh,
eating a hamburger and fries, right? Fit. You don't know what they look like underneath those clothes, but whatever. And you wonder, like, wow, like, how can they do that? Or, wow, like
yeah.
she can
Like,
eat
that's
that,
not
but
fair. Why does she get to eat like
right?
that?
But I can't. Or you'll see some of your girlfriends that are constantly kind of, again, like eating like that during the week or whatever, or they go out and they're having the drinks, but they're just nibbling on food and not actually having a meal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. So, what you don't know is this is what we're talking about. This is what it all comes down to. What you do most of the time allows that person that's sitting there that you are assuming and making narratives or telling yourself stories that, wow, look at that. She's so lucky. She can eat that. She can have a burger, fries, she can have pizza, she can have a couple of drinks, and she's always skinny. Like she never gains weight. Well, that's
Mm-hmm.
not the case. That's because she's having it that one time,
Because what
maybe
is she
once.
doing the rest
The
of the
rest of
time?
Exactly, exactly. And that's the part that's missing, right? That's the part
Mm-hmm.
that's missing from your narrative and what you see and what you're telling yourself. It's that we practice this most of the time. This is what 80 to 90% of our life looks like. And so, even for me, being able to do that now, like I am experiencing that feeling where I can go to a restaurant, have a couple drinks, have that meal, and like I'm actually just enjoying it. I'm like, shit, I can do this now, and I don't have to worry
Yeah.
about like, oh, me gaining more and more and more weight, or this is going to contribute to me gaining like weight over the next month or
Or I'm
whatever
going
the
to
case may
have to
be,
work this off
or
tomorrow.
I'm going to have to work this off. Exactly. And you can't work off 1,500
No,
calories in a day. I'm sorry, but that just like,
no.
for the most part, that's impossible unless you're like a marathon runner or some sort of like crazy athlete.
Yeah.
And so that's just interesting. Like, I think that, we compare ourselves a lot, but we're forgetting this background
Context.
story, what's happening in the background, what's happening in the rest
Yeah.
of their lives. Right. So,
Mhm.
we jump to those conclusions very easily.
But people do
And
that to me all the time. Family members
mhm,
who don't, like, they know I'm
yeah.
like in the fitness kind of thing, but they don't really know because they don't follow like what I do day in and day out. So they'll see me with my plate of food and they're like, damn, you want to eat
Hmm.
all that? And I'm like,
Yeah.
watch me. Yes.
Yeah. Watch me, bitch. No kidding.
But it's like, but it's weird to me because it's like, well, you clearly don't understand my lifestyle. And I live this lifestyle because It's what makes me feel good. It's what serves me, and it's what allows me that flexibility and that freedom. Because like
Yeah.
what you said, you get to go to the restaurant and you have such freedom. Imagine that. Imagine being that free and care, like
Oh.
just not worrying about it. Because like I said, as women, we live in our heads. And that's probably the most shitty part about being a female. I mean, I'm sure that's men a little bit, but like I think they're like whatever more than we are, where
Hmm.
we're like, it's just that constant narrative of, am I enough, am I doing enough, am I good enough, like, oh my gosh, look at that person, blah 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 blah, like you said, like it's just that constant just thing running through our brains. So for you to be able to take, you know just that by the reins and take control of it and say no, like I got this, like
Hmm.
that's what most women need to understand. And if that's not a reason enough for you to just start, then I don't know what is at this point. Because
Yeah, because
we don't want to convince you to get skinny. That's not the thing. We want to convince you to take your life back, because this is what will serve you in the end, because you'll open up so many doors for yourself, as far as just having that confidence in all aspects of your life, knowing how to navigate your life, and understanding like what serves you now. That's how I feel.
yeah, no, you're right. That the freedom, like this is one of the things. Um, and I've heard my coach talk about it too, though, like the whole Sex and the City type of life, right? Like you see this and these women just going out for cocktails all of the time, and eating avocado
Yeah,
toast, and I saw it
yeah,
all the time, and it's just like, no, 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 that's not reality. That is not how it works. And so, if you live like that, you're gonna gain fat, you will gain weight. Like, I'm sorry, but nothing will prevent that from happening. If you're constantly out and about, more often than not, having drinks, eating out, that is just inevitable, period.
yeah.
Right?
And let's
It
be
is.
honest too, if you're comparing your life to what you see on TV, you're really lost in the sauce, because that's called entertainment. It's meant to entertain
Yeah,
you. Like you can't
that
try
is
to live
not.
your life based off of that. Like
That is not real life. And like, I had this conversation with my client the other day, and I'm like, why don't maybe it's time to turn around and ask ourselves, like, the what why is not being content with routine and like just structure and just the kind of mundane, boring kind of
Mhm.
basics we talk about? Why can't you be content in that? Why can't we?
Oh, dang.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
Seriously, like,
That's a deep
and so.
question for people to ask themselves, because, we figured it out, but we did it because we understood that there was work to be done. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's a really good question to propose to people and ask themselves, like, why? And you
Yeah,
can't say it's
yeah.
too hard. It will be hard at first, but it won't be hard for forever. So what's the real deeper
That,
rooted
but
thing behind that?
saying that it's too hard is a physical kind of feeling that you're relating to, right? So
Yeah.
exactly, like, probably goes deeper than that. Like, why are
Yeah.
you, what part of the routine and doing the same things every day and living that boring, mundane, basic, doing all those things and living that
Yeah.
life, in what about that, and in that, can you not be content with? Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
That's
but it's,
funny. Yeah.
yeah, I was just gonna say, but it's in that which allows you to, like, what we're talking about,
Have the freedom
you
that
know.
you want.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
sorry,
was
what were you
having a
gonna say?
conversation with Aram, because he had posted in his stories about how, because he's a huge advocate for women, right?
Oh
And I
yeah,
guess
100%.
he gets a lot of pushback when he gets a little bit spicy about certain topics,
mm,
especially like perimenopause and menopause. And he gets the,
mm.
you don't understand, you're a man. So I think that led him to his
Yeah,
story where he had said, sometimes I wish I had your parts, your female parts, because maybe then you guys would take me more seriously. To which I opened up a conversation. I said, I don't really think it's about biology and anatomy at this point. I think those people are just defensive. and they're just clinging to something because they don't want to take accountability of their actions, what they've done up until this point, their lack of, I guess, care and concern for their
Hmm.
well-being, and they don't want to accept that they're going to have to take care of themselves and do the boring basics for the rest of their life. They don't want to accept that. They want to find the next shiny object and say that this is it, because what we do is work. But
Yeah.
now at this point, we've put in the reps to where it's not work. It just feels like normal everyday life. And that's what people have to understand is you just got to put the reps in before it just starts to become second nature to you. But I think that a
Yeah.
lot of people fight what we preach because they don't want to have to do it for forever. But what is your other option? Feeling like shit for the rest of your life?
That is so funny that you say that because I actually replied to him on that
Oh,
story
you
as
did
well.
too?
Because, yeah, I'm like, listen, maybe I go, it's funny because so when I first started following him a long time ago, I'm like, shit, like I relate to you so much. Like everything that you're saying, yeah, that's on point, that's on point. But maybe that has to do with the fact that I was already in the trenches of it and doing the work. So
Mm-hmm.
I got it. And I go,
Yeah.
maybe it has to do with part of it has to do with you being a male, which it shouldn't, but maybe, okay, fine, whatever. But really, just like what you said, there's two parts to this. One is yeah, like why are we searching for that next kind of quick fix? Like we need women in general, not men, maybe too, but like we're just talking women because that's, who we we're coming
Yeah.
from that experience. But what are you looking for? Like, are you ready to let go of that timeline and actually do it this way? Or do you want to continue searching for those kind of quick fix type of things, right? Part of it's
Mm-hmm.
that. And the other part of it is like we just all maybe you guys just need therapy. So many of us need therapy and won't go do it, right? Like that's a
Yeah.
part of it, right?
You giggle about it, but it's the truth.
It's
It's really the
true.
truth. I mean, you
Yeah.
don't have to have gone through some traumatic experience growing up to have therapy. There just might be some shit that
Yep.
you didn't realize that you like went through that makes you want to like I guess retreat or not want to,
Hmm.
do, because honestly, maybe the Weight Watchers, maybe your stint at Weight Watchers traumatized you and maybe you need to unpack that. Or
Right.
maybe just you seeing your mom and how she treated herself with such, she just wasn't kind to herself while with her own body. And so maybe that was ingrained in
Yes.
you and maybe you need to unpack that. So it's not that deep, but it is deep. It's deep enough for you to be stuck in your cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. So the inner work, when we talk about the inner work, like it doesn't, or do a deep dive into that, it doesn't have to be crazy. Like it, for me, for example, like I was good with, I don't know, like a handful of sessions, whatever, a dozen
Mhm.
sessions. Plus, I did a lot of self kind of care work or reading on my own as well. But some people might need longer. Some people might need less. But I think everyone can benefit from some sort of counseling or
Mhm.
therapy or whatever. Or maybe the first step is just to sit back, take a moment, and really reflect on what's holding you back, or facing your fears or facing yourself. Today I just posted something about like my kids and how it's changed the trajectory of their lives as well. But I just captioned it like, for them, I had to face me.
It's
That's
the
it.
truth
I had
though.
to.
It's the
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah.
Because it's the
Yeah.
same thing. I mean, I'm raising girls. So, like,
Yeah.
if I didn't get my shit together and figure out how to love me in all my forms, how can I expect them to do that?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm
Yeah.
always fighting to be my smallest self instead of just my healthiest self, what's going to bleed onto them?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. You know what? I know what we're going to talk about our next episode based on this, but we'll get into that later.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah. Exciting.
segue into the
Uh,
next topic.
but just this is just to say, I think we want to just circle back and like just really bring this all together that it's not always your fault. There's a lot of variables at play
Yeah.
here, and it's so much more complex than we sometimes, talk about or see. Yes, at the end of the days, we're never going to argue against the law of thermodynamics and calories in, calories out. It's how we navigate that, right? How we
Yeah.
navigate that calories in and calories out for you, or how you do that for yourself. And that navigation might entail therapy, counseling, looking at your food environment, understanding that, yeah, okay, that stuff is out there, and, I need to be more intentional about it, not having it in your house, various
Mhm.
different things. So we never want to say this is the only way, this is how it is. And we don't like to speak in black and white, because that is not how it is. We
No,
know,
there's
because
so
we
many
have lived,
shades of gray.
yeah, we have lived and been there, done that, and it's always, yeah, 50 shades of gray. Right? Or 50 shades of brown, how I would say that, just like. But yeah, so with that, Carmen, did you have anything else to add, or shall we conclude here?
No, I think that's good. I think we pretty much covered it. It's just knowing and being educated, staying vigilant, and controlling the variables that you can't control, which is trying to eat more at home and
Yeah.
meals that will satisfy you in a, I guess, fueling nature, and enjoying the stuff as it should be, not just as an everyday thing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, with that, if you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends. And we will see you, and follow us on Instagram. Carmi Health Gets Fit and Nutrition Coaching by Dal. But we will see you next week, and we have an exciting topic for you next week. Carmi doesn't know it yet. I do.
I'm
With
like, ooh, I'm at the edge of my seat right now. Even the dog's ears perked up.
All right, with that, bye.
Bye.